Give me a sense, first of all, of the industry. We're talking almost day in, day out of the possible slowness in China, of the possible slowdown in the car makers. How does that affect Pirelli?
Pirelli is focused on the high end, as you mentioned before, and we don't see this drop happening in China. Even end of last year, we continue to have a double-digit growth. And we expect in the aftermarket, that represents more than 50% of our market, a growth double-digit also in 2019, and a bit of slowdown in the high end in the car makers, but a continuous growth.
How are you expecting the auto industry slowdown, even the high end, for example, coming from Germany, and the trade concerns between the U.S. and China to impact your company?
The impact is a minor impact because we have a car park that represents 75% of our turnover, so we sell to the aftermarket 75% of our sales. And when people do not change cars, they change tires in any case. So we are much more resilient than the automotive industry.
So you just told me that you're not seeing a drop in Chinese demand. How much do you expect the Chinese demand to actually grow this year?
We expect on original equipment, so new cars coming into the market, something between 5 and 6% growth for the high end. In standard, we see a slowdown. In the aftermarket, we continue to see a double-digit growth.
What do you expect in terms of M&A in the tire industry? Do you think this is a consolidation phase waiting to continue, or are we done for now?
I think that we are done for now. Could be in Asia, where there is a number of players that some of them will be merged, but I don't see major things happening.
So you don't see Pirelli being part of a new round of mergers? That you don't see yourself either buying something or being bought? Mr. Tronchetti Provera, give me a sense. Yeah. You don't see that happening. What's the outlook for the Italian economy, and what's it like doing business in Italy? I know you're very international, but do you feel like there's an Italian discount on your share price? Italy
basically is going through uncertainties, and when there are uncertainties, investments are lower, consumption is not improving, and the general trend of economy in Europe is not good, and the Italian is a bit slower than the rest of Europe.
Where do you see the main business coming from? If you look at it regionally, it seems to suggest that actually it's come from outside Europe. Where specifically?
For us, obviously, China and Asia is still a good market. U.S. is a good market. Latin America, mainly Brazil, is still bad, but not as bad as it used to be last year. So we see a lower growth, but we still see growth in the main areas where we are focused.
What kind of impact will Brexit bring for Pirelli?
We will not have a major impact because we are the only one having a local production in the UK, which is good for the local car makers, but also very good for export. We see Brexit as a negative impact overall, but on us, we see a minor impact.
Mr. Tronchetti Provera, give me a sense of your investors. Are you planning a reshuffle? There are rumors about people coming in and coming out. Can you give us a general sense of direction of who you would like to see as main investors?
I see that we have 37% of international investors from US, UK, and other regions. And then we have the largest owner of our stake that is Chinese. Looking forward, I see that there could be more free float looking forward.
So, but you think CEM China is committed to Pirelli? Are you happy with them as a stakeholder?
I'm very happy with them as a stakeholder because we had very clear agreements, and so they are a financial investor that is really supportive, and without interfering in the management.
Mr. Tronchetti Provera, when you look at some of the concerns for this year, what's your top priority? Either a concern or actually something that you're looking forward to. If you look at 2019, what will define this year?
This year, the expectations are so bad that at the end of the day could be even better than expected. So I see if that the agreement between China and U.S. is enough solid. The risk is that it is not perceived as a long-lasting agreement. I hope that they will be clever enough to give the sense that it is a long-lasting agreement. Otherwise, the market is so volatile that we could continue to have uncertainties.